We've got some conflicting reports hovering around the New York Giants and Brian Daboll. NFL insiders are saying that Brian Daboll is coaching for his job in the final 7 games of the 2024 season, while others are saying that is not true and he is safe. We are going to go brick by brick and try to sort all of that out on today's video. But before we do and I give my opinion on what the Giants should do with Coach Daboll, I want to hear from all the real one in the comment section. If you were Joe Schoen, what would you do with Brian Daboll? Would you keep him? Would you fire him? Sound off in the comment section for me. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. I appreciate everybody for stopping by. It's been a chaotic 24 hours for the New York Giants. Brian Daboll announced to the media that he has benched Daniel Jones, and he will turn to Tommy DeVito as the backup quarterback over Drew Lock. And following that, a lot of stuff started to come out on social media. And let's start with Jordan Schultz, NFL insider. He is reporting when he says, sources, while ownership has suggested that Brian Daboll will return, there is a growing sense that the Giants head coach is coaching for his job over the final 7 games. That's part of why he chose DeVito over Locke as the starting QB. He also said the relationship between Daniel Jones and the Giants has been described as, quote, a bit awkward, especially with the organization publicly exploring other QB options, including during Hard Knocks this past offseason. The quote was that one source said, it was like flirting with someone new while your date is still at the table. For the Daniel Jones stuff, if you don't want your girlfriend dating someone else, do a better job of being a boyfriend. And the Giants wouldn't have looked at the draft and the trade market for a new quarterback. I don't care about the relationship with Daniel Jones. He's no longer a part of this team. I want to focus on, though, where Jordan Schultz says that Brian Daboll is coaching for his job. He said that on Monday morning. And then Adam Schefter on the Pat McAfee show, he said this, quote, I believe Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen are safe right now. I don't think it's in the Giants' plans to make any changes. So we've got some conflicting reports. Some would call it a big J off between Adam Schefter and Jordan Schultz. And all of this stems from when John Mara spoke to the media recently and said, obviously, we are all very disappointed with where we are right now. But I'm going to say one thing. We are not making any changes this season, and I do not anticipate making any changes in the offseason either. And look, I do believe John Mara when he says that, and I am going to believe Adam Schefter over Jordan Schultz. And that's no disrespect to Jordan Schultz. I'm sure he had a legit source that told him that. But I'm going to believe Schefty. The track record is there, and he has been doing it for much longer. And I do believe John Mara to an extent, because he has said before that we aren't going to make any in-season changes, and he ended up making in-season changes. We've shown this graphic a couple times. Back on November 13th of 2017, Giant co-owners said, quote, Ben McAdoo was our head coach. No in-season changes coming. Then 3 weeks later, the Giants fired head coach Ben McAdoo. Fast forward to 2021, Adam Schefter reported that the New York Giants plan to bring back Joe Judge, Daniel Jones for 2022. And then on January 11th, the New York Giants fired Coach Joe Judge after a second disappointing season. So just because John Mara said that the Giants are going to not make any in-season changes and they don't anticipate making changes after the season, it doesn't necessarily mean they are going to. I also want to go to this quote from Adam Schefter last week. Maybe Schefter was told something in between this quote and the quote we showed you earlier on in the video, what he said on Monday morning. But Schefter last week on the Pat McAfee said, quote, I don't know that anybody can say that anybody's safe in New York. I don't know that anybody can say that anybody's safe when you're on track to have the number 1 overall pick. And again, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. We'll say he's not making any changes on John Mara. We don't expect anything in season, but I think that they're going to be looking at everything, and I think anything's possible there. So, look, a lot of smoke, a lot of fire. There's a lot of just BS circling around the Giants right now. And I say everything I've said today because you see Schefter on one side, then on the other. Then you have Jordan Schultz reporting. And John Mara said what he said. A lot can change with 7 games left. And I said a lot can change with 10 weeks left after John Mara said that. when he didn't want to make any in-season changes. And a lot of things have changed. I did take note of what Joe Schoen said, though, at his bye-week press conference when he was asked about Brian Daboll. I thought he gave an interesting answer. A little bit of a longer answer here, so stick with me as I read this. Schoen was asked by the media, how would you evaluate Daboll right now? Because we're 2-8. So again, we're going to look at all solutions. He's coming in every day. He's working hard. The team is staying together. We had a really good practice today on a bye week, which is the first time we've done that in his 3 years here. He's done a really good job. The guys are competing, keeping the locker room together. Again, we're in these games. We just got to find a way to finish it. We're 1-5 in one-score games. So we got to find a way to get over the hump and make plays at critical times of the game, whether it's red zone or third down, or getting off the field on defense, or tackling on punt coverage, not allowing a punt return for a touchdown. Again, there's a lot of things we can look at and we need to improve on, and that's what we're going to do. That sounds all good, right? What about this second part? Question, when you look at it from what you thought you were going into the season to now, do you look down at the personnel and say, this team is not good enough, I didn't put a good enough roster, I didn't give the coaches enough? And Joe Schoen said, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. All right, Joe Schoen, if it's not the roster, then who is it? If Brian Daboll's doing a hell of a job and you feel like you gave him a good enough roster to win games, then whose fault is it? I would say Daniel Jones, but it's also going to be looked at as Brian Daboll's fault because he is the CEO of this football team. I have more thoughts and opinions on Brian Daboll and what the Giants should do with him going forward, and we'll talk more about these quotes. But first, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Look, the offseason is almost here, and it's going to be a hot one for the Giants. There's going to be head coaching rumors. There's going to be general manager rumors. We're going to be doing a mock draft later this week, and a lot of stuff to talk about with a new quarterback coming to town. So make sure you are subscribed, hit that sub button, and turn your notifications on. Also, I got to give a major shout out to our proud sponsor, DraftKings. Use the promo code NixChat. Bet $5 to get $200 in instant bonus bets with our proud sportsbook partner. The Emirates NBA Cup is here. You can win big getting in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. All 30 teams split into 6 groups every Tuesday and Friday playing for the right to advance in the single elimination in-season tourney, culminating in the NBA Cup Championship in Vegas. First time, here's something special just for you. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook. Every point counts. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code NixChat. That's code NixChat for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/BBALL.
Shout out to DraftKings, our proud sportsbook partner. Smitty's slate for Week 12, and you guys might be upset at my first pick here. All these odds are minus 110, by the way. $11 wins, $10. Buccaneers -5 against Tommy Cutlets and the New York Football Giants. I'm taking a couple of road warriors here. Also got Patriots +7 at the Dolphins, and then Chiefs -10.5 at the Carolina Panthers. You could tail my picks or fade my picks. Just do it at DraftKings. Use that promo code NixChat. Get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5.
Giants, dogs, 5 points. Hey, man, Tommy DeVito could go do it. We'll find out. Look, when it comes to Brian Daboll, I do not think the Giants should fire him for a long list of reasons. I would understand anybody, though, why they say that Brian Daboll is not the guy for the job. Since the playoff season, the Giants have one of the worst records, if not the worst record in the NFL. I saw a stat the other day. He's one of the first coaches in Giants history in his back-to-back seasons to have 8 losses in the first 10 weeks of a season. I get all that. But you hire Daboll for one reason and one reason only: to fix the offense as well as to develop the next franchise quarterback. Remember the timeline. Timelines are important. When the Giants hired Joe Schoen and they hired Brian Daboll, what was one of their first big decisions they made? they declined the fifth-year option for Daniel Jones, making him a player on an expiring deal, meaning they didn't believe he was worth the fifth-year option money, which tells you they didn't think he was going to be the guy for the job going forward. And John Mara knew when he hired Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll that they were going to have to go find and evaluate and identify who that next franchise quarterback was. And it was going to be Daboll's job to develop that guy. But then Brian Daboll became the coach of the year, and he took a terrible roster, led by Daniel Jones, made him look competent. They won a lot of games. They were competitive. They got to the playoffs, and they won a road playoff game. So the job of Daboll, being the guy that's supposed to develop the next franchise quarterback, got put to the wayside because he was such a good coach in his first year here. He overachieved, and he got Daniel Jones to the playoffs and to win a playoff game. I believe that is a huge indication of to how special a coach he can be. I think the number one skill of a coach is having your players be put into positions to be successful, even if it is against your football IQ. That's not the brand of football Brian Daboll wanted to play, but he came up with a game plan that made sure that Daniel Jones was in a spot to be the most successful he could be. Green check mark for him. Another green check mark for Brian Daboll. The guy won 3 games, including a Monday Night Football game against the Green Bay Packers with Tommy DeVito, an undrafted rookie in his rookie season, who started the year as QB3, who started the year on the waiver wire because the Giants did not have him make their 53-man roster. So you led Daniel Jones to the playoffs in a playoff win, and you won 3 games with no disrespect to Tommy DeVito. That tells me all I need to know about Brian Daboll, that if he has a quarterback that he wants to coach and that can run an offense that he believes can execute and create explosive plays, he's going to be the head man of a winning team. Look, he is not a perfect head coach. There aren't any perfect head coaches out there. We would love to have Kyle Shanahan as the head coach of the New York Giants. He's kind of getting exposed this year. There are questions made about coaches every single week, even the best ones in the National Football League. He needs to improve as a CEO. And I still think he is getting and going to get better. He needs to realize that he is working a whole operation. Time management, timeout management, 2-point plays, decisions to go or kick on 4th downs. He can improve everywhere. And I think if you ask Brian Daboll, do you think you did the best you can? He would say effort-wise, yes, but there are things that he can improve. The thing I'm looking forward to the most, though, with Brian Daboll electing to choose Tommy DeVito over Drew Lock is the offense needs to show improvement. Because right now, call me stubborn, but there's a lot of people that agree with me. I think the offense looked like shit because Daniel Jones. I saw people open in film. I saw reads being missed. I saw too much time where the ball was held onto the pocket, not making plays when the play broke down. So I want to see this offense improve with a new quarterback because I think the reason they stunk was because of the quarterback. And you picked DeVito over Lock. So you're saying that DeVito gives us a better chance to win than the guy we paid $5 million. He needs to go out and show some improvement. Can we go from the 32nd scoring offense to maybe the 27th scoring offense? That's the type of improvement I want to see. I don't want to see crazy, but I want to see some more points put up on the board. Also, Brian Daboll said he's looking for a spark. That is why he went to Tommy DeVito. I guess that is because of what he did last year. And there's going to be some people, well, Marshall, we're not even trying to win games, right? We want to tank. We did the exercise on the live show. How many top 5 picks in the last 10 years have been successful? And then go look at all the division winners this year and tell me how many quarterbacks theirs were top 5 picks by the team that drafted them. But for all the people that say Tommy DeVito is going to win us games, is he going to beat the Bucs? Maybe. Is he going to beat the Cowboys? Maybe. Is he going to beat the Saints? I don't think so. Is he going to beat the Ravens? I would doubt it. Are they going to beat the Falcons in Atlanta? I don't think so. Are they going to beat the Colts? I don't think so. Are they going to beat the Eagles? Only if the Eagles arrest everybody and forfeit the game. You're going to be underdogs in 6 of these 7 games. I can guarantee that. And you still might even be an underdog to Cooper Rush and the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving. Whether you think DeVito was the right move or not, let's stop overblowing the fact that he's going to miraculously win a bunch of games. Maybe he does. But the experts out there believe the Giants doubled their chances of getting the number 1 pick since DeVito was made the starting quarterback. I want to see him improve. I want to see the improvement from DeVito from last year to this year. I want to see the offense improve. I think it is critical that Brian Daboll shows that with a new quarterback, his offense can be executed at a higher level. Because if I'm John Mara, and it's true that you're coaching for the final 7 games, in the final 7 games you're coaching for your job, you made a big decision. You benched my guy, talking in John Mara's point of view, Daniel Jones. So show me the guy that you want out there is better than the guy that I paid all this money. My question to you is this. What will the Giants' record be at the end of the season? They're 2-8 right now. Got 7 more games. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm going to go 3-14. I think the Giants win 1 more game this season. Maybe it is the Bucs, and maybe you go out and new quarterback, new juice, new life, new team, new identity, and you go out and win a football game. Maybe that happens. Maybe you beat the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. You'll probably win a game. Maybe you win 2 more. But I also want to remind people that 3-14 is probably going to be good enough to get you the first, second, or third pick. Of the teams picking in the top 5, they all already have 2 losses. From teams picking from 6 to 9, they already have 3 losses. So are you telling me the Jets, the Patriots, the Panthers, the Cowboys aren't going to win another game this year? If you win 1 more game this year and nobody else wins a game, you're still going to be picking inside the top 9. I think the Giants will end up picking anywhere from 1 to 6. That's what I think is going to happen. And maybe it could be a good thing. And I've been a huge Cam Ward guy. That you pass on a quarterback and you continue to build up the roster to strike while the iron is hot in the class of 2026. Maybe that's the best way. Let it play out. You rooting or not rooting for the Giants to win or lose has no effect on the game. Sorry to burst your bubble. Enjoy it. Have some fun. And let's frickin' throw up the cutlet symbol as he's hopefully throwing some TDs to Malik Neighbors. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on IG at @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up over there, and let's go Big Blue.